Welcome everybody! The moment is finally come for one of my most anticipated videos, the Razors vs Stealth Tech Final Showdown. I've done over 2000 dies with each one of this system and they are hands down the best on the market. And as always, we have Mauro here. Mauro, today you're just gonna be my mule and light assistance, which by the way is super important because I hope you're gonna enjoy the shots we're gonna do today. Mauro's role is gonna be crucial even if he's not gonna be in the camera all the time. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I love you, you know that, right?
Hi, culo.
Hey, look, a table with two side mounts on top. Guys, today I'm not here to give you an excruciating description of all the D-rings and pieces of webbing in the harnesses. We're gonna go straight to the point. The core of every side mount system is the wing, because you can customize the harness and the bungees to attach the tanks. But the wing is what defines the system. Today we are going to talk about the features and behaviors of both wings, and then we will evaluate the performance underwater. Let's start with the features. The Razor has a double bladder with no external suck, it's hard cordura, and that's it. That's all the wing, guys. Double bladder is because there is a backup one on the inner side. Mine is long time gone, but if you buy it new, it's going to have two bladder. The Stealth instead is a single bladder, even though you can buy a two bladder version, has an external sack of cordura, and the bladder is accessible from a zip on the inner side of the wing. Another feature of the Stealth is that there is a plate here, a hard piece of plastic that goes almost all the way, that helps the wing to stay flat on your back. Let's speak about the shape of the bladders now. The Razor is shaped like a diamond, is a rhomboidal shape. It distributes the lift longitudinally from the shoulder to the butt. And when you inflate it, looks like a pillow, looks like a little balloon if you completely fill it up. The Tech instead has a trapezoidal shape because, yes, it does look like a diamond like the Razor, but the bladder stops here. Where there is this seam line here, this is as much as it inflates. So the lift is not distributed longitudinally, but on the sides, laterally. Another thing is that there is if we open the zip here and we examine the bladder, I'm gonna show you in detail. There are seam lines here that cut the bladder like this, and this helps to keep it flat. It's a little bit like the water mattress you can inflate to float on the pool, no? That are all a bunch of tubes and these keep them flat. The same principle applies to the wing of the Stealth. That's why you can see there is a bunch over here, a bunch over here, and if we open the Velcro, we can see there are 1, 2, and 3 channels. That's it, guys. Very big difference. Little balloon, flat mattress. And now, guys, we speak about how the wings are connected to the harness. The Razor has one fixed connection point with a screw on the top plate, and then there are 3 dynamic connections with bungees, okay? Left and right side of the wing, and another bungee connection on the butt. The Tech, instead, has 4/6 connection, including the Velcro, okay? So the wing is connected 1 and 2 connection point on the shoulder, 1 fixed connection on the butt. Here used to be a screw, mine is a piece of paracord, but whatever, it's fixed. And then, very important, what I mentioned already, there is a Velcro strap here that keeps the bladder attached to your back. It reduces a little bit the lift because it squeezes the central side of the bladder, but it helps to keep it very compact. The 2 dynamic attachment points are similar to the Razor and most side mounts, honestly, the bungees on the side. The next feature is the nominal lift of the wings. The Razor has a nominal lift of 16 kilos or 35 pounds, which is pretty good. And the Tech instead has a 19 kilograms or 42 pounds, so a little bit more. When we speak about nominal lift, is when the wing is fully inflated. Now we have a look at the dump valves. Now guys, before to see where the dump valves are, let's remember that all the threads of all the dump valves and inflators are interchangeable, okay? So now I'm gonna talk about the normal configuration. Razor, normal configuration, we have the inflator on the left, as usual, and the dump valve on the right. There is nothing on the butt. On the tech, instead, we have the deflator on the bottom, the dump valve on the bottom, and the inflator valve is also on the left. But there is a third point here, so we can play around and put the dump valve here or the inflator here. As on the Razor, we can put the inflator and the dump valve, we can change them in position, but I mean, nobody really does that. So with this one, you deflate with the right hand. With this one, you can deflate with both, only if you can reach your butt. Now let's see how these wings behave when we use them, and how these affect the lift, the hydrodynamics, and the comfort level. Let's start with the Razor, and let's see how it behaves when it's inflated, almost completely inflated. About the lift, we have to say that it's limited by the bungees pulling the side of the bladder on your back, so you lose part of the nominal lift. Hydrodynamics, well, it's a hump on my back, okay, so it creates a lot of friction, and it also, the sides of the wing are not attached to your body anymore when it's half or fully inflated. About the comfort, we have to say that these bungees pulling on your obliques are not very comfortable. This can be mitigated by a proper equipment configuration and also having the bungee on the butt very short. When the Razor is inflated, basically it's a balloon that pushes on your back and pulls the bungees on your obliques. Let's see now how it behaves when it's deflated. So let's push the button and look at this. The wing is literally disappearing. It's like wearing nothing. When I use it into restrictions, because of course if it is empty, it's because I'm gonna go in a small place, it's very soft, smooth, and the fact that the dump valve is on the side, there are no risk of scratching your butt against anything, okay? Really great. Hydrodynamics, well, even if it is partially inflated, because now empty, of course, there is like nothing. But if I put a little bit of gas, as if I need to carry a couple of tanks, my main tanks is still completely attached to my back. Very low drag and fantastic. Comfort-wise, guys, yes, it's super comfortable. It's like diving just with a wetsuit. Now let's talk about the stealth and how it behaves when it's inflated. Let's start with the lift. The lift is great, guys. I can use most of the nominal lift because the bungees are attached on the external sac rather than the bladder, so the bladder is free to move inside the external cordura sac and inflates sidewise. And the seams line that are inside the bladder, as I told you before, makes it really develop the lift sidewise. There is nothing, because there is also the Velcro. Let's not forget that there is the Velcro squeezing the medium part of the bladder. There is nothing pushing against my back. Speaking about the comfort, guys, when this wing is inflated, it's super comfortable. It's almost like if it is empty. The only thing we want to say is that there is this plastic plate here that kind of feel like wearing a turtle shell. So I feel like a ninja turtle, but to be honest, I can deal with that. It's not the end of the world. Let's see how it behaves when it's deflated now, or almost completely empty. When I have to go through a restriction, the plate on my back, this one, and also the dump valve on my butt, this one, they create a little bit of drag in the ceiling of the restrictions. The hydrodynamics, when it's partially inflated, is still very low drag because of this plate, because it keeps the wing attached to my back really flat, which is fantastic. Comfort-wise, yes, it's comfortable, even though I feel the plate. So it's like having a low-profile, very comfortable sea turtle shell on your back. We talked enough, and now it's time to go underwater. We are going to evaluate them based on two criteria. Number one, how good they are at lifting stages, and number two, how they handle restrictions. These are the parameters for our test. First, both wings must lift 2 full stages. So I'm not going to breathe the stages underwater. I'm going to drop them and pick them up, and that's it. And then both wings must pass through a flat restriction because removing the tanks has nothing to do with the ability of the bladder to squeeze through a tight space. What we need is a sandwich like that. And the other thing is that I must wear the same suit and accessories, of course. I'm gonna do it with a wetsuit. And we want to do everything in one dive. Viene tú también aquí.
Todo el mundo. Welcome everybody.
Okay. Guys, before to go diving, I wanted to show you Benji one more time because he's part of the team, he's behind the camera. And now, guys, let's get wet.
We have a t-shirt.
We are back from the dive and this is our final verdict. For the multi-stage, I will give the Razor a 6 out of 10 because as a limited lift, the wing is not very big and when it's inflated, it's fairly uncomfortable and creates a lot of drag. For the Stealth instead, I will give him a 9 out of 10 because as a great lift, it's very comfortable and also when it is inflated, it's very low drag. For the restrictions instead, I will give the Razor a 9 out of 10 because it's super smooth, low drag, it's almost perfect. For the Stealth in the restriction, I give him a 7 out of 10. It's still very good, has a limited drag, but because of the plate on the back and the dump valve in the butt, I mean, it's a little bit rigid and a little bit of drag, but it's still very, very good. Awesome compromise between being able to carry stage and also do restrictions. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you, Mauro, for your help like always, and see you next time. We are talking about the behaviors and the features. No, la cagué. Lo dice al revés, carajo.
Welcome everybody.
Culo.